Narcissists often perceive themselves as victims in every situation. When conflicts arise, they typically blame others instead of reflecting on their own behavior. This pattern leads to a lack of accountability, making it difficult for them to acknowledge their flaws. While they can eloquently express their own suffering, they struggle to recognize the pain they inflict on others. Instead of discussing their actions, they focus solely on their grievances, defining their narrative around personal hardships rather than relational dynamics. If prompted about their role in conflicts, their responses often highlight their sacrifices or loyalty, diverting attention from their contributions to the issues.
You can hear the pattern in the way they tell stories. Every ex is crazy, toxic, or obsessed. Every job ended because people didn't appreciate them or were intimidated. Every friendship that fell apart becomes proof that others are disloyal, jealous, or fake. If you listen long enough, you realize the common denominator in all of these situations is the storyteller, but they never seem to notice that part.
Accountability doesn't land on them like information. It lands like an attack. When someone says, "You hurt me when you did that," you can almost watch the shift happen. The conversation turns into a courtroom. Suddenly, they're defending their character, listing all the good things they've done, explaining why the other person is too sensitive, dramatic, or unstable. The reality of what happened gets buried under their need to still feel like the good one.
Narcissistic love often looks beautiful from the outside, especially at the beginning. It comes with intensity, attention, big words, big promises, and a fast sense of being chosen. But if you watch it over time, that love is conditional on admiration and agreement. The warmth fades when the other person has needs, boundaries, or complaints. Affection becomes something given as a reward and pulled away as punishment.
In spiritual or self-help spaces, the same pattern hides behind prettier language. The person talks a lot about healing, vibration, alignment, and inner work, but uses those words like a shield. If someone says, "That thing you did hurt me," it gets labeled as projection, low frequency, or resistance. Instead of owning their behavior, they turn the other person's pain into a diagnosis and keep themselves above the conversation.
From a distance, it's easy to see that a lot of narcissistic behavior started as protection. Some of these people grew up ignored, unseen, or controlled, so they built a persona that would never feel small again. The problem is that the armor they built to survive ends up cutting everyone who tries to get close. What once felt like self-defense becomes a way of living, where nobody's experience matters as much as their own.
When someone responds negatively to a boundary, it often reveals their deeper struggles. They might interpret limits as a personal attack rather than self-care. This reaction can manifest as anger, withdrawal, or playing the victim, all aimed at making others feel guilty. Such behaviors pressure the boundary setter, challenging their needs and often leading to compromised self-respect.
The people around them usually see the truth before they do. Friends notice how drained someone looks after spending time with them. Family hears the way every story is tilted in their favor. Co-workers watch them take credit when things go well and shift the blame when things fall apart. From the outside, the pattern is loud, but on the inside, the narcissistic person feels like they're just defending themselves and telling their truth.
There's a difference between having narcissistic traits and having a full narcissistic personality disorder, but from the outside, the impact can feel very similar. The partner who never apologizes, the parent who makes every conversation about themselves, the friend who disappears when you're struggling, those are traits, whether or not there's a diagnosis. Labels aside, the pattern leaves people feeling small, unheard, and unseen. The hardest part is that the mirror almost never comes from inside them. Insight usually arrives when enough people leave, enough relationships collapse, or enough consequences pile up that they can't keep telling the same story. Even then, some double down and blame the world. Others have a brief, painful moment where they finally ask, "What if some of this really is me?" That question is the doorway to change, but it's a door the ego will fight to keep shut.
Now, it's important to say that not everyone with narcissistic traits is a monster. Some are genuinely kind in certain areas, truly generous with money or help, and even deeply sensitive. That's what makes it so confusing. They can cry over their own wounds and still completely dismiss the wounds they cause. They can pray for peace and still create chaos. The contradiction is real, and the people closest to them feel that tension every day.
From a conscious standpoint, the most useful thing isn't hunting for narcissists out there, but recognizing the pattern wherever it shows up. In bosses, in lovers, in friends, and in the small ways it lives in all of us. The urge to always be the hero, the instinct to flip blame, the need to protect our image at any cost, those are seeds of the same tree. The difference is whether we water them or pull them up when we see them.
It's important to recognize that true love sometimes means establishing clear boundaries. This isn't about being harsh, it's about ensuring that your well-being is prioritized. When someone values their narrative more than your feelings, stepping back can be a vital step. This isn't cruelty, rather it's a necessary action to preserve your self-respect and sanity. Understanding this can lead to healthier relationships where both parties can thrive.